If you're in your 40s or older and you've been thinking of restarting your life, or you've already started doing so, this video might be for you. Hey everyone, my name is Rome. I'm 43 years old and I'm a Filipino living here in the US since 2023. Just a quick backstory on how and why I restarted my life at this age. Way back in my late 20s, my mom petitioned for me and my siblings to come here in the US. Our youngest brother was 17 years old back then, and our younger sister was on her early 20s. And because our youngest brother was below 18 years old, his petition got approved real quick and he was able to come to the US soon after the petition was filed. As for me and my sister, we were left in the Philippines, but right after our dad died at around 2008, my sister got married to an American and she also was able to come to the US shortly after that. And so basically I was the only one left in the Philippines. Really all my family were already here in the US, my mom and my siblings. And so I just waited. I just waited for my papers to get approved. And after almost 2 decades of waiting, my application finally got approved in 2023. And my mom was so excited then. She broke the news to me and she was very excited for me to come here in the US. However, it was not all good news to me, considering that at that time I was already 40 years old, and in a way, I have already built my life around a someday that took 20 years almost to arrive. And I already had a successful career, and pretty much I was already comfortable in the Philippines. I already had a life built for myself. And so when my mom broke the news to me, I was excited, but also a bit hesitant just because I've recently just semi-retired from a corporate job and I already built businesses and life was good back then in the Philippines. Life was comfortable and I didn't have any reason to come here in the US except maybe to join my family. And that was my first hesitation on whether I should still board on that plane and get here. But I started thinking of all the sacrifices, not only on my end, but also most especially on my mom's end, the money, time, and effort she had spent to file those applications for us, and the years that all of us have waited. Also, on my end, the sacrifices that I've also made, the biggest one is of all the waiting that I had to do for my application to get approved, I wasn't able to get married because a change of marital status would nullify my application. So I stayed single. I wasn't able to build a family of my own. And so thinking about all the sacrifices that have already been made because of this application and all the waiting, I finally decided to just leave my life in the Philippines, pack my bags, and come here in the US. And now I just want to talk to you guys about the fears that no one, I guess, talks about, and the fears that I felt coming here at my age, basically starting back to zero. The first one is leaving stability at 40 hits differently than when you're 25. Before I came here, basically I already had built a life for myself. I had built a successful career, built a business, and I was pretty much comfortable with my life. Just the thought of leaving this safety of that life was scary. Maybe if I was 20 years younger, it would have been an adventure. I would consider it as an adventure, but starting over at 40, it didn't feel like I was being brave. It felt like I was being irresponsible. And the other scary part was that I knew that if I were to come here, I would have to start from scratch. I would have to start from zero. And the feeling of being left behind while others are already on a particular milestone in their lives while I'm gonna be going back to the starting line, that was scary. Now let's talk about the realities of actually moving to another place or another country. The first one is that, and I'm not sure if this applies to all other cultures, but in the Philippines, most people would think that if you've gone abroad, you've gone outside the country, is that you already made it. You're earning a lot of money. But what people don't know is that yes, we're earning dollars, but we're also spending dollars. I might even argue that you have it better in the Philippines, considering that here in the US, based on my experience, I've had so much expenses compared to when I was still back home. For instance, I'm paying federal tax, state tax, property tax, not to mention all the insurances that I need to be paying, which in the Philippines, I did not really pay that much. So yeah, so we are earning dollars, but we're also spending dollars, and we're probably spending so much more than we were spending back in the Philippines. But the one thing that I truly appreciate here in the US are the opportunities that are available to everyone. This country has given me so much more opportunities in the past 3 years that I could have never imagined. Another reality of moving to another country is just the loneliness of it. Even though my family is already here and I'm grateful for that, I'm able to visit them anytime I want, but I miss my friends. And that's also one of the realities of moving to another place, is just the sheer effort of rebuilding a community. If I was maybe on my 20s, that would have been real easy for me. But at my age, my circle right now are mostly people 20 years younger than me. And so it has been tough. It's been difficult, and I've come to a point in my life where I'm not really as social as when I was in my 20s. I would rather just stay home during the weekends. And so yes, that has been, making friends has been really tough. And in my 3 years of being here in the US, I can maybe only count in one hand the number of times that I've been out with people that is not my family. And so yes, it is a struggle. It is a sad reality. Now let's talk about starting a new career at 40. Back in the Philippines, majority of my career was in the call center industry. And around 2017, I left the industry semi-retired and started my own business. And it was all good. It was doing really great. I would say that I was comfortable in my life during that time. And when the news of my application getting approved, it occurred to me that I would have to leave the safety and stability of my life to start from zero. I had already left the 9 to 5 that I had in 2017, and I knew that I would not be able to bring my businesses here in the US. So the only logical thing to do to be able to earn money here is to go back to work. And that was scary for me because I had gotten used to not having a schedule, just being my own boss, basically. And the thought of going back to a 9 to 5 was scary, to say the least. But even though it was scary, somehow I felt a rush of excitement as well, because I never had any hesitation starting from the bottom. Because to be honest, I knew that I had no transferable skills that I can bring here in the US, because I knew that my experiences in the call center industry wasn't that much in demand here in the US. I knew that was somehow a dead end for me. But I was prepared to do whatever it takes to be able to earn my keep here. But thankfully, we had friends that had connections to a caregiving service, and I was able to get a caregiving job, and that was real good. I loved it. I had 3 clients back then. We were still in Wisconsin. I was a caregiver for a year before we had to transfer to another state, and then I lost all my clients. But good thing I had a backup plan, because back in the Philippines around 2005, when our mom had just started to send that application, she urged us to study nursing. Now, I've already finished a management degree at that time, and I was already working in a telecommunications company, but I resigned from that job in order to go to nursing school. 3 years later, I got my bachelor's degree, but because I got to work in a call center right after graduating in nursing school, I never really had the opportunity to really practice, except for some voluntary jobs here and there. And since I could not find any work here in the new state that we transferred in, I've decided to go pursue and use that nursing degree that I had. The thing is, I've never opened a nursing book since 2008, and now I'm taking a licensure exam to become a nurse. I studied my ass off, went to a review boot camp for 45 days, and by God's will, I was able to pass the exam. I got my nursing license. I took that exam in LA. I remember driving for 5 days, going there and then 5 days coming back. Right before I went home, I dropped by a couple of hospitals, sent my applications, and told myself that I will not go home unless I already have a job offer. And I did. That was just all God's will. I had nothing to do with that. It was part of God's plan, and I'm gonna be forever grateful for that. And so, yes, from a call center professional in the Philippines to a business owner, and now I'm a registered nurse. It has been a whirlwind drive, but because I'm starting this new career at the age where most people, if they have not already settled into that role, some may already have on their way to early retirement, and here comes me just starting, not to mention just a few months of review, basically relearning all that skills. To be honest, I felt like an imposter. The imposter syndrome was so heavy, and it took a toll on me for the first couple of months of working. I felt like I did not belong there. I felt like I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But I'm glad that I was able to somehow overcome it, got comfortable in the new role that I have. I'm pretty lucky, I guess. Grateful for God, I would say. Also, another thing, not sure if this is a struggle, I would say it is not really a struggle, a challenge. Starting a new career at this age, at 40, you're gonna have to face the fact that most of your co-workers would just be younger, and that is crazy. I know for sure that I'm the oldest one, I think, in our unit. I feel like every time I go to work, my knees hurt and my back hurts. Everything hurts, just remind me of my age. And because most of your coworkers are gonna be younger than you, there's also some sort of an ego check that's gonna happen when you're starting a career at 40, because you have to face the fact that your mentors at your new career are gonna be younger than you. People who are going to be teaching you these new skills have lesser life experiences than you, and that is an ego check. That's going to humble you real fast. In my previous life, in my old life in the Philippines, I was used to be the person that people ask for advice, but right now I'm the one asking for advice from people younger than me, which really is very humbling. And so now let's talk about the lessons that I'm still learning, and maybe you need to hear it too. Number one, it's okay if your timeline doesn't match everyone else's. There is no universal deadline in starting a new life. Just because yours look different doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's yours. Number two, waiting has a cost. Trust me. I waited 20 years for papers and I didn't realize I was waiting to live. If you're postponing joy, courage, or the decision to live because you're waiting for the right time, be careful because time moves on whether you do or don't. And the third lesson that I've learned is it's okay to grieve the life that you weren't able to build or the life that you're leaving behind. There were milestones in my life that I was not able to achieve because of the waiting that I had to do, and that's okay. And if you've decided to leave your life behind to start something new, it's okay to feel both gratitude and regret. You have to understand that growth doesn't really erase grief, and that's okay. And another lesson that I've learned is that being a beginner at 40 is both humbling and powerful. At an age where I thought I'd be established, I'm starting to reintroduce myself again. Reinvention doesn't expire. Starting late doesn't make you weak, it makes you brave. Like the old adage, better late than never. Whether you're restarting at 20 when it feels adventurous or you're doing it at 40, which may feel very risky, both moves are considered growth, and growth is always a good thing. And the last thing I've learned from restarting my life at 40, and if there's one takeaway that I want you to get from this video, is that you are not behind. You're just on a different chapter. I've realized that some people are building what they started in their 20s while I'm building on what I survived. And comparison will always rob you of your joy and your courage. Remember that your timeline includes things that other people didn't have to carry. I also want to share, aside from having a different career, basically having a different life, the other things that I was able to do after restarting my life at 40. And there are a couple of things that I'm excited to share to you guys. First thing is, I've been able to go back to my passion for photography that I have not done in 10 years. I've also been very intentional in my fitness journey right now. I've started going to the gym regularly. I have never been a gym person. I've never been athletic, but I have started doing that. And I've also started to collect guns, which I've always wanted to do. And finally, I'm happy to be able to make YouTube videos again. And if you like this video and you found value in it, truly appreciate a like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys. All right, I'll see you guys next week. God bless and take care. Bye.